Hey guys, ETP Duelist here, giving my thoughts on the April 1st, 2014 ban list. I decided to take a day or two to kind of get my thoughts organized on it, think of new things other people haven't thought of. I really like to make a Capital G did last year, and I kind of thought that I'd want to do that this year. So for Forbidden, we have nothing. So here we can go into one of those unique things I'll talk about. We're going to go to what people wanted and why it didn't get touched. The first thing is Soul Charge. Everybody calls Soul Charge broken. And while I agree to an extent, because I have stolen games with Soul Charge, I felt a little dirty by doing so, most top tier decks are only running one, like maybe one or two. It's kind of hard to justify completely banning a card when it's not in all the top decks, and a lot of top decks just weren't running it. The Konami can't just hit something on potential. It just won't happen. The other card people wanted to get hit, and I did too for a long time, was Artifact Sanctum. But Artifacts, I played them, I played against them. I find they're kind of a mess. They don't exactly have the best matchup against some decks, namely Lightsword, which is really popular. There are other factors too. They're inconsistent. You can have a handful of hand monsters like Firehead and Ice Hand. I always have two Ice Hands and a Firehead or something in my opening hand. I get really angry, or just a lot of other things. The deck's just not as good as everybody thought, and its prices are really going down. So for limited, Goyo Guardian. Some people are hyping this card up, other people are saying there's too much hype, and I'm for the camp that really we just needed a good level 6 that wasn't HST Sahemoth. Sahemoth's not really good. Sahemoth was kind of what I used because I had nothing better to use. Goyo Guardian is actually a respectable monster. I wouldn't call Goyo broken per se, because Big Eye does the same thing, except Big Eye doesn't have to attack. But it's better. It was a good thing to just get off the list. Up next, you have Gear. Gear were a tier 1 deck. A lot of people hated Gear. I kind of confess, I think Gear is a little bit unfair. And Artifact Trap Tricks, that deck was inconsistent. It's now going to being mixed in with Fire Fist instead. But Gear, they were their own thing, and Gear definitely should go to 1. I completely agree. So for semi-limited, Dish to Faith. So a lot of people are probably going to expect on my channel for me to go get the crowd and to talk about how good cards are. But really, you're not going to find me any different on this one. Who cares about Magician of Faith? So next up, we got Formula Synchron for semi-limited. Formula Synchron is such a blessing. I'm so happy about Formula Synchron. I found myself when I was playing junk decks at such a disadvantage as somebody just solemn warning your Formula Synchron because you didn't want to run this stupid purple dragon thing when you're running junk deck or any kind of synchro deck. I feel like if you got warninged, you were at such a disadvantage for losing your only copy of Formula Synchron. Some people say it helps out plants and other decks, and yeah, that's great. Those other decks needed support. Alright, so I have a lot to say about Reinforcement being semi-limited. Okay, first off, everybody keeps saying this card is for heroes and Six Samurai, when really they completely forgot about all the whining they did, that Noble Knights didn't get good support. They didn't have a good searcher. Now you have 2 searchers for your Noble Knights. That's fantastic. I can't see complaining about Noble Knights not having a search card anymore. But I'm sure some people will. You have Boars and you have Reinforcement at 2. That is good support right there. My other argument was, I had an argument with somebody at my locals who said I was stupid for saying, well, if Tenki's at 3, why isn't Reinforcement when Tenki is clearly the superior card? And he told me, well, Reinforcement can be activated more than once a turn, so if you had 2 Reinforcements, you could search twice. Well, so what? What warrior deck could really break that? Six Samurai have this 3 smoke signal. They'll appreciate the extra Reinforcement, but they can't really do anything. Heroes can't really do anything. Being able to go Tanky, Bear, Pop, Tanky, that's way better than anything a double Reinforcement is going to get you. No longer on list. I put both these together because they're pretty much the same card, even though they do different things. Dimensional Prison and Mirror Force. Semi-limiting these cards was a weird move on Konami's part. I understand why they did it, but it wasn't like stun decks were running 3 of either one. A lot of people were like, oh no, triple Mirror Force, but Mirror Force is just getting dropped left, right, center. You got the hands that screw Mirror Force. Mirror Force, a lot of things can't be destroyed, like Stardust Dragon and Beals. Mirror Force just is it's just out of its time, like it's not really a good card anymore. Deep Prison kind of helps, so I don't really I could see maybe siding in the third. I don't know about meaning. Deep Prison, it's kind of like Kudami's excuse for not hitting the hands. I know a lot of people wanted to see the hands get semied. They're like, oh no, but see we unlimited Deep Prison, you're fine. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like half-assing some homework. You know, kind of lied to your girlfriend about why you went to the bar. But whatever, it's there. Lastly, these cards also got unloaded because Judgment Dragon just craps all over them. Lightsword doesn't care about either. If I'm playing Lightsword and somebody does either one of these, I'm happy. Like, sets either one of these, I'm happy. Yeah, maybe they will deprison Lila, but it's not like that deck doesn't have a ton of other ways and more sped up mills. These cards just aren't as great as they used to be. So that's my video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later.
As for what I think about the list, it's pretty average. But I think we're going to get a lot more average lists. Last list was average. Because we're having so many more frequent ban lists, they don't have to hit things as hard. Mermills are coming back and everything, but how gone were they for the longest of times, really? It just shows you that hitting only one or two cards in such a speedy format like the one we have now can really just cripple a deck and balance it out.